Welcome back to my channel folks, Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, where today, mid-May 25, I hope you will join me on a journey to find the next plant in our 50 Flowers in 50 Days series. The jewel of nature which we are looking for today is a bright blue flower known as Bugle or Ajuga reptens, and it is a member of the family Lamiaceae, which is the mint/dead nettle family. In today's episode, we not only look at the background and identification of the plant, but we take a peek at the strategies the plant uses to enable pollination and cross-fertilisation. Bugle is known by a number of common or vernacular names, none the least Bugle, which is thought to be a tubular glass or plastic bead sewn onto clothes as a decorative trim. The other vernaculars reflect the plant's colour or its ability to spread rapidly with stolons. The Latin epithet is also a little obscure, and the term or prefix ajuga is thought to be derived from Greek, meaning without a yoke. The suffix reptens most certainly means creeping, as per the habit of the plant to spread via stolons. So let's get cracking and examine the shaded habitat in which we find the plant. Welcome folks to my channel on YouTube, Wildlife Ranger, where today we're going to look at another plant in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series. The plant that we're going to be looking at today is known as Bugle or Ajuga reptens. Reptens coming from the Latin word creeping, and the plant, as you can see, is a low creeping ground perennial. It can be seen between April and July, and it is visited by such visitors such as hoverflies, Ringia campestris. It's distinguished by a square stem, and it is known by a number of common vernacular names, namely bugle, bugleweed, carpetweed, ground pine, or as I've said traditionally St. Lawrence's plant, which is used much less frequently these days. It's a bright blue flower, and it can be seen between April and July. Here you can see we've found a young stand of bugle here, here and here, which has just come into bloom, and we're looking at the habitat in which we find it, which is directly underneath the hawthorn tree, which is providing cool damp shade which the plant prefers. All of the fluorescences that we're looking at will have likely derived from the one creeping stem, otherwise known as a stolon, taking root to form the basal rosette. In the hot spring of 2025, the stands look a little thirsty at the moment. Let's briefly summarise the habitat of Bugle. It prefers damp woodland and shaded areas, and preferably heavy wet soils, forming dense mats in favoured locations. The family Lamiaceae, that is the mints and dead nettles, are highly versatile in their evolutionary form. Bugle belongs to a specific cohort in the family Lamiaceae, which has allowed their flowerhood to regress. Here we can see the evolutionary regression of the upper flower lip and the exposure of the anthers, with the remaining flower lip resembling something like a pair of small pointed ears. This structural adaptation is thought to accommodate visits by butterflies and therefore widen its pollinator base. This adaptation is not without disadvantage, potentially exposing the anthers to rain. Notwithstanding, the tight location of the bracts and flowers on the leaf axils introduce a secondary parasol function for the bract. In the comparative sequence that follows, we contrast the bare heads of Bugle with the bright umbrellas of a typical Lamiaceae yellow archangel. Other subtle adaptations to the two-lobed lower lip includes an abrupt bending downwards, forcing the insect up towards the anthers and closer to the corolla or flower tube. Likewise, the visual nectar guides on the lower lip, as well as a groove in the upper part of the lower lip, optimally positions insects for pollination. A clever plant, I hear you say. As always, before we embark on our journey into the field, we look at the features and characteristics which will enable us to identify it and find it. Bugle is a member of the family Lamiaceae, which is the mint or dead nettle family. It is a creeping plant with hairy leaves and stems, the stems being hairy on two opposing faces. The perennial grows to a height of 10 to 35 centimetres and the stems spread out as stolons which root as clones. Bugle is bilaterally symmetrical or zygomorphic, and it bears tall spikes of tightly whorled flowers interspersed with oppositely paired purplish brown bracts. The flowers are two-lipped, upper and lower, with two side petals. The blue-violet flowers are typically 1.5 centimetres long and have a pattern of veins or nectar guides on the lower lip. They are 5 to 7 two sepals on a calyx tube. The anthers on the stamen are kidney-shaped. The flowering period for Bugle is between April and July. Let us allow the beauty of Bugle to speak for itself. Turning our attention now to the leaves, the low-growing and creeping Bugle has large oval leaves spread out in a rosette at its base, and smaller leaves going up its flower spike or raceme. The leaves are hairy, greeny blue to bronze on the flower spike. Well folks, that brings our video and overview to the plant Bugle to a conclusion. As always, thank you very much indeed for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video or found it interesting or educational, please like, share and subscribe to help the channel become successful and bring more videos like this. Let us hope in future springs that this jewel of blue and beacon of brightness will remind you of the wealth of understanding and knowledge beneath your feet. As always, whatever the weather may be, go outdoors and enjoy it.